Okay, so I just want everybody to know I'm recording the July 15th meeting of the Design and Project Review Committee. First item of business is suspension of the rules. Does somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, Michael, please call the roll.
Naiden.
Aye.
Mangum.
Aye.
Gertis.
Aye.
Tristan.
Aye.
Cueva.
Aye, sorry.
Eckersberg. Jones.
Aye.
Sterling.
Yes.
Did I miss anybody? Is Ingrid there?
Michael, this is Dave Stoneback. I'm sitting in as the Public Works rep today.
Okay. We're good.
Great, thank you. Next item is the meeting minutes of July 1st. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval of the July 1st minutes.
Second.
All right, call the roll, please, Mike.
Naiden.
Aye.
Mangum.
Aye.
Gertis.
Aye.
Tristan.
Aye.
Cueva.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sterling.
Aye.
Stoneback.
Abstain.
Okay.
All right. Great. First item is 1701 Howard Street. Adam Zatz, applicant submits for a special use for a cannabis transport MJA Chicago LLC in the C1 Commercial District Zoning Code Section 6-10-2-3. The Zoning Board of Appeals makes a recommendation to City Council, the determining body for this case. So, Mr. Zatz, I see you're on the call. Why don't you walk us through what you are going to do?
All right. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. And then just as a reminder, staff, kindly make sure your video is turned on for this, and but also mute yourself if you are not speaking.
All right.
All right, Mr.
Well,
Zatz, go ahead.
all right. So I'm Adam Zatz. I'm representing MJA Chicago. We're a new cannabis company we applied for a transportation license to transport cannabis. I'll just start out with the basics. I'll talk about the actual license itself. So the Cannabis Transporter License, it's according to the Illinois Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act, it defines a cannabis transporting organization or transporter as an organization or business that is licensed by the Department of Agriculture to transport cannabis on behalf of a cannabis business establishment or a community college licensed under the Community College Cannabis Vocational Training Pilot Program. A transporting organization may not transport cannabis or cannabis-infused products to any person other than the cultivation center, a craft grower, an infusion organization, a dispensing organization, a testing facility, or is otherwise authorized by rule. So in short, a cannabis transportation organization facilitates the point-to-point transportation of cannabis between licensed cannabis businesses only. Some of the requirements for the transport license: all cannabis transported must be entered into a data collection system and placed into a secure container for transport. Transporters are subject to random inspections by the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Public Health, and the Department of State Police. Transporters are required to report any loss or theft to local law enforcement, the Illinois State Police, and the Department of Agriculture within 24 hours. A copy of the transporting organization's registration and manifest for delivery shall be present in any vehicle transporting cannabis. A few more, guys, sorry. A copy of the transporting organization's registration and manifest for the delivery shall be present in any vehicle transporting cannabis. And last but not least, the transportation organization agent must keep his or her identification card visible at all times when on the property of a cannabis business establishment and during the transportation of cannabis when acting under his or her duties as the transportation organization agent. During these times, the transport organization agent must also provide the identification card upon request of any law enforcement officer engaged in his or her official duties. There are a few restrictions, being a cannabis transportation company, one of which transporting organization may not transport cannabis or cannabis-infused products to any person other than, like I said before, the cultivation center, the craft grower, and infusion organization, dispensing organization, testing facility, and otherwise stated by rule. No person under the age of 21 shall be in the commercial vehicle or trailer transporting any cannabis goods. No person or individual who is not transporting organization agent shall be in a vehicle while transporting cannabis goods. It is unlawful for any person to offer or deliver money or anything else valued directly or indirectly to obtain preferential placement within the dispensing organization, including without limitation on shelves and in display cases where purchasers can view products or on dispensing organizations' websites. Cannabis, shall also be transported so it's not visible or recognizable from outside the vehicle. Any vehicle transporting cannabis must not bear any markings to indicate the vehicle contains cannabis or bear the name or logo of the cannabis business establishment. We're really trying to keep this low key, and we're trying to keep our employees safe. So that's why we're pretty much not going to put any signage on any of our vehicles or our facility. And last but not least, a transporting organization may not warehouse or store any cannabis or cannabis-infused products at the facility or in the vehicles or any other secure or insecure location when not specifically transporting said product between two licensed organizations. So strictly point to point. As far as community safety goes, as I stated previously, it's unlawful for a transporter to warehouse or store any cannabis or cannabis-infused products at the facility. Therefore, unless making a specific delivery to a licensed cannabis organization within the city limits of Evanston, MJA Chicago will never transport cannabis or cannabis-infused products into Evanston as a final destination. It just won't happen. And there are certain routes that will be required that are secure, that our unmarked vehicles will use to pass through Evanston. But like I said before, no cannabis or cannabis-infused products will ever, reside at 1701 Howard facility or in any of the vehicles. All principal agents, officers, employees by law must pass a rigorous state and federal criminal background check conducted by the Illinois State Police and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And the 1701 Howard facility will not have any outward-facing signage, like I said before, identifying the company as a cannabis transporter, nor will any of its vehicles bear any markings as well. So the location, I'm sure, you got those pictures up on there. So location's at 1701 Howard. It's right between Dodge and Western on the north side of the street. This facility actually has been owned by my family coming up to about 40 years now. Just recently, back in October, we decided to shut it down and move over to a new facility in Lincolnwood. So that's where we currently are. And right now that 1701 Howard facility is just sitting. So being the entrepreneur that I am, I figured this might be the next best way to generate some revenue by creating this transport company and putting it in this facility. We have, I'm sure you can, if you can see up on the map, we did the location search. Basically within the first 1,000 feet, we found that there's a toddler town daycare center that we were most concerned about. But aside from that, within 2,500 feet, the only other thing that we had was a Jewish congregation and the Levy Senior Center that we thought would be impacted by this. But like I said, we're trying to keep it very low key. We're not trying to advertise ourselves, so we don't feel like that would affect the neighborhood that much or at all for that matter. But the plan basically here is to create accounts with the new cultivators that are about to be licensed, if and when that happens, as far as, and also between the dispensaries. We'd like to be a point of, the transport company that's point to point for them. So from the cultivator straight to the dispensary. And that's basically the gist of this license. We figure that this would be a great location only because, one, it's already an auto repair facility. All the vehicles that we would be using would be purchased by our company. They wouldn't, like I said, they wouldn't bear any signage or anything like that. But if they ever had to be serviced or maintained, we technically could do it, on the spot. But regardless of that, it's mostly just going to be used as an indoor parking lot for about 9 vehicles, just to keep them safe at night. We plan on fixing up the facade of the building just to bring it up to par a little bit. It's been sitting for quite a while, and my parents haven't really taken too much care of it. So I'm the next generation, and that's what I'm trying to do with it. I really want to try to clean up Howard Street as best I can. I literally grew up there the last 34 years. And so I'd like to really bring up that neighborhood if I could, the best I can. The one thing that, MJA Chicago and our team is trying to do is we're really focusing on a give back program. We're really trying, right now we're discussing the percentage, but we're thinking about a maximum of about 5% of our enterprise growth revenue, giving it back to the local community, to support, local returning citizens, elderly residents, as well as youth art and educational programs. I love Evanston. That's why I chose to do this in Evanston. And, I'd love to give back to you guys because you guys have treated me so well after all these years. So that's pretty much that.
All right, are there questions from staff?
Sure. So I think you indicated that you're looking to have about 9 vehicles there. Initially,
Correct.
would all be parked inside, and then what would be the maximum number in the future if there were expansion and more dispensaries, more cultivation centers?
Well, from my understanding, the state hasn't really limited the amount of drivers you can have. It's actually kind of still in a gray area with the state as far as what their specific requirements are going to be for this license. Since it's a new type of license that's coming on, nobody actually has them right now. The current cultivators all, transport their own products to the dispensaries as of the moment. But that's what these licenses are supposed to alleviate, is just bringing a lot of opportunity for other people, smaller companies, to do the same. So I can't really tell you that we have a certain, the amount of vehicles we're going to have. I'd like to start with about 6 to 9 to begin and see what happens there. But it also depends on, deliveries and how often, their cultivators are going to need the product delivered to dispensaries, so on and so forth. It's going to be determined by the market, I feel.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions?
The drawing indicates parking for 6 vehicles, but he's indicating 9 vehicles. Is that an issue?
Correct. So if you notice on the screen right now, the 2 square boxes that are in the main office, those are currently garage. That's a garage facility right now. So we're going to actually close off those doors completely, and actually just make it a straight office. So we'll actually only have the 3 bays on the left, and that actually it's kind of a tandem parking basically. So we'll have 3 cars parked, one behind the next in each one of those parking spots. So we can fit 9 vehicles. We've done it before. So that's why I chose 9.
Do the drawings have to be modified to indicate?
Yes, correct. Yeah. The drawings will definitely be. You know what? I should have. Let me see if I can share. I had updated ones, but I don't know where they are right now. Hold on, let me see. Well, I can shoot them over through an email if it happens. But if you want to keep going, so we got the main office, we have the lobby, and we have the security office. Just so everybody knows, anytime a driver would show up for his shift, they would be retinal scanned, fingerprint scanned, all that good stuff. Basically after entering any part of the facility, whether it be the garage part of the main office or what have you, just so we can document everybody who's coming in and out of the facility. The main office is going to be used as more of a dispatch center, I guess you can say. We'll have, think about I'm hoping like a set of cubicles in there so we can put about 4 or 5 people to work, dispatch and safety and all that stuff. We're going to have security guards on staff full time, mostly not only just for the drivers, but also for, the facility as well. That's the plan there. And right now it's actually, it's a little rough because with the state pausing all the applications, we're really trying to hone in on, where we want to take this, but the state hasn't given us too much information on that yet. We're kind of just basically going off hearsay.
So would you say that there would be fewer vehicles traveling to this location than the previous use, so we're not creating more traffic congestion here?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, there would be the vehicles would basically be leaving in the morning and returning in the afternoon. They'd be coming and going and that's it. It wouldn't be constant stopping back and forth or any of that. And I don't really anticipate us using all 9 vehicles up front. I think we're going to start small. We might even start with just 2 vehicles, just depending on what the license gives us on the state level.
Okay.
So
All right, any
besides-
other questions from
Yeah,
staff?
besides closing in the 2 overhead doors, what other improvements to the property were you anticipating?
Well, to be honest, the whole back side of the facility has just always been graffitied on and this and that. So I really wanted to turn that into like a community mural for just the neighborhood, kind of for them to just graffiti on themselves since it was already happening. But no, we're going to redo the front facade. We're going to do the tuck pointing on the east side of the facility. We're going to take off all the signage. We're going to probably have to do something with the roof as well. As far as like the plumbing and all that stuff, that's all in line. So we're just going to have to make slight adjustments for that. If we get the license, I mean, this is all contingent on us getting the license, but if we get the license and we expand, we might be sitting here talking about, expanding that building, that facility to make it, a few feet bigger or something like that to house more people for administration or more vehicles or what have you.
Okay. Will the pole sign be removed then?
Yes, that would be fun. Yes, I don't know if you guys, here, let me see if I can pull up. I think it says I can share content. Let me see if this will work. Oh, it says I can't. Okay. Can you guys all see me? Is that possible? Are you guys seeing me or not really?
We can see you, yep.
Okay, so I will just flip my screen and show you what the anticipated facility is going to look like. I think I flipped it.
Adam, can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. Can you guys see the picture? So that would be the front facade. And we did, we'd fix up the brickwork, obviously, like I said, on the east side, but we take 2 of the garage doors out, create some facilities for it, or create some cubicles in that space, and basically just bring it up to par. Cause I mean, I'm just really, it's my family shop and I'm really sick of it, sick at looking at the way it is. So let's see another view on the side. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's basically the idea is just to bring it up and make it look somewhat like this. And it's just a first generation rendering. So we still have quite a bit of work to go, but we're kind of just waiting on the state to see what they're going to do with these licenses before we went further.
Okay, thank you.
Adam, can you hear me?
Okay, so is there any more, I'm sorry, is there any more staff questions? Because I'd like to move on to the other agenda items here.
Yeah, just maybe one more comment, Johanna. Going on with Gary's suggestion, I agree, removing the poles would be a benefit and the proposed renderings would be a benefit from what's there currently. But the site currently is pretty much asphalt, lot line to lot line, and has 3 curb cuts existing. I'm guessing way back in the day, there must have been a gas station there that necessitated more curb cuts. So I'd also recommend closing up at least 1 to 2 of those curb cuts and putting some perimeter landscaping around the site to visually screen that parking lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. So Scott, would you like to make a motion with those suggestions?
Sure, and just checking, I don't know if there's anyone from the public on this. No, okay. So sure, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of the special use permit to the Zoning Board of Appeals, subject to the improvements to the facade shown in the presentation, the removal of the pole sign at the corner, the closure of 1 or 2 of the curb cuts to the least number that's feasible and needed, and the installation of landscaping minimum of 5 feet in depth around the perimeter of the property.
Second.
All right, Michael, call the roll, please.
Naiden,
Aye.
Mangum,
Aye?
Gertis,
Aye.
Tristan,
Aye.
Cueva,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Sterling,
Aye.
Stoneback.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that'll be at the ZBA meeting is it next week?
Yeah, it's next week. The
Next
22nd,
week.
I think.
22nd.
21st,
Okay.
maybe.
One of the 20s next week. Okay, next item is a joint cafe plan for 707 and 711 Howard Street. I see Lanice is on and Chris Collins is on, so would the two of you like to tell us what you're proposing to do here?
Okay, hi everyone. Chris, if it's okay, I'll just start and then you can just jump in. So the plan is for us to use 4 of the park. Can you hear me, Joanna? Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. So the plan is for us to use 4 of the parking spaces in front of 707, 707A, 709, and 711, and to have enough space for also quick pickup. So according to the plans, you'll see where there's barricades on the east side of Howard Street, the west side of Howard Street, and then the southern, tip. It's about 46 feet long. We're gonna put some picnic tables out. There'll be open entry. There'll be open entry from the sidewalk where people can, walk into the patio dining area, but it'll have the barricade around it. And so it'll be a shared space for both North Shore Cider and Good to Go. And, we set it back from the bike lane. So there's clearance from the bike lane. And that's it. That's all. I don't know if there's anything else to say. It's pretty straightforward.
Cade, you've been handling a lot of these. Can you comment or ask any questions to start us off for this one?
Sure. I think overall I'm supportive of it. I sent, a lot of comments that were addressed. I don't think Jessica's on the line. I guess one of my concerns was accessibility of the space, but if you had dedicated tables inside, that might work. But other than that, yeah, I think it's a good proposal. I guess I would be a little more curious how the space would operate, just being shared between the two equally, and how that would function. But other than that, I don't have many concerns.
Okay.
So Lanice and Chris, how is the space going to be shared?
I would assume first come, first serve. So whoever comes and there's seating available, they could be seated. If there's no seating available, they can wait until it's available. That's the only viable way to make it work.
So who will be cleaning the tables after the people use them?
So if we have guests there, we will certainly clean them. And if there's any debris around, I have a custodian who pretty regularly cleans our sidewalk cafe. That'll be a part of his assignment as well. And when Chris has guests, it doesn't matter. We'll make sure that the space is just kept clean. And I can't speak, I would assume it would be reciprocated, but Chris, I guess you could speak.
Yes, when
Okay.
you obviously have longer hours than we do.
Yeah.
So when we're in operation, certainly that can be arranged.
Yeah. It's definitely to our advantage to make sure that the space is maintained. And so, like I said, I have a custodian that normally does regular routines for the sanitation that we do anyway. So that'll just be another part of his responsibilities.
So I think to Cade's point about accessibility, Lenise, you have some outdoor space where you could accommodate, but I don't think North Shore Cider has that outdoor space to accommodate. I think it would be important, to have an accessible ramp to these spaces so that both businesses or clientele have access to these spaces.
Okay.
We can certainly build a ramp.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I was kind of thinking about exactly what you were referring to.
Yeah.
So yes, we could definitely build a ramp for access. Yeah.
Okay.
For accessibility. Yeah.
And then I think, Lenise, you were entertaining a sidewalk cafe previous, so the sidewalk cafe would not be done, and the use of the parking lanes would be, correct?
No, both are in operation, and there's still the 6 foot of clearance on their sidewalk. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 6 feet from the sidewalk cafe to the parking spaces tables?
Yes. There's 6 feet of clearance from the curb to the sidewalk cafe. And then the parking space starts at curb side.
Okay, so just to clarify that 6 feet needs to be between the improvements on the sidewalk, not just the curb.
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, sorry.
And then just a reminder, 6 feet width is required on the sidewalk as well. I know seeing out there, it's fairly tight between the bike rack and the railing there, like more in the 4 foot range or so. So 6 feet is what's required there.
Okay, noted.
And are you supplying the concrete barricades, or are you anticipating the city?
The city, please.
And there is a $250 charge to set them up, and then a $250 charge to remove them.
Okay, we weren't informed of that. Yeah, Chris, were you aware of that?
I was not.
Okay. I know we spoke to our alderman about it. We were not informed of that.
Well, Lenise, I think Cade tried to work with you and you guys declined at that time. So that might have come out then, not that that's a problem that you declined his help, but that, our technical assistants would have probably reviewed some of that stuff. So
I declined
so
help with what again?
With Cade Sterling reached out to you guys about this.
About this project?
Yeah, he
Are
emailed you
sure?
last week and called you.
Oh, Cade,
Yeah.
right. He, I'm sorry, I thought you was talking about Katie, I'm sorry.
Cade, yes.
Well, right, so what he told me that costs never came up, so I didn't know that was a part of what he was saying that he was gonna help us with. It was like he had 10 bullet points of information that he needed, which I was able to supply. So again, I wasn't aware that there was a 250 install and
yeah, I mean,
okay.
it's barely covering our costs. It's not really even covering our costs because the cost to install the barricades from a staff time is pretty significant, and then the materials themselves are pretty expensive. So $250 for them to go in and $250 for them to go out is a pretty good deal. Can't get that anywhere else.
Okay, and when does that have to be paid?
When have we been collecting the $250?
Well, the preference would be we collect the $250 as we do the work. We can install them and send you an invoice.
Okay, Chris, what are your thoughts on that? Because I would like to also talk to the Howard Street Business Association to see if we could possibly fund it through that.
So Lenise,
Chris,
I'm gonna see if there's any more staff comments about the physical design of this, and then
Okay.
And then we'll go on with a motion to approve, and then
Okay, and then we'll figure out how to pay for it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
is there any more staff comments or questions?
Just maybe one question on the size of the picnic tables. So parking lanes, probably 7 to 9 feet wide, right? And then the concrete barriers can go in there, and then just making sure there's enough room for the tables if they're, I don't know if they're 6 feet in length, or do you know what the size is?
So based on, they have a variety of different size picnic tables. So the ones that I was looking at were about a 5 foot wide range. So they would fit and we'd have room to spare.
All right, any other questions from staff? Otherwise, I'd love a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve, subject to city inspection.
Second?
All right, Mike, please call the roll.
Nyden,
Aye.
Bingham,
Aye.
Gertis,
Aye.
Tristan,
Aye.
Cueva,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Sterling,
Aye.
Stoneback.
Aye.
All right, so Lenise and Chris, it is passed. I think you'll sort out with the public works staff on the installation and Kate can also facilitate some of that if you need some of the help.
Cade is, okay, Cade, okay. Thank you,
Cade.
thank you all.
All right, thank you, good luck.
Thanks.
All right,
bye.
next up, 1635 Chicago Avenue. Robert Strom, applicant submits for Sidewalk Cafe Prairie Moon in the D4 Downtown Transition District. All right, Rob, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Why don't you tell us what you want to do?
Well, it's pretty simple. We are looking for 6 tables outside the restaurant. As you can see, we've measured them out. Most of them are 8 feet apart. On one side, there's 6 feet that separates the 3 tables, but that's the total is 6. So you've got 3 in the front on the window, and then 3 on the, I'm sorry, 4. Sorry, it's 7. 4 on the bike lane side.
Okay. Questions from staff?
So just for the committee, some of the tables will encroach the adjacent space, which is vacant. Which
Yes, that's correct, and that's obviously it's the same landlord, and he's actually offered us to be inside the space and use that if we needed to. So we're in compliance with him.
Is that the PNC bank space?
That's correct.
And so there's landscape material in front of their storefront. And then there's landscaping, open holes behind the curb. So I'm not sure. To me, it looks like you only have a 6 foot wide sidewalk as it is right now. They aren't the raised planter beds, but
It's actually 8 feet of sidewalk in between the table and the tables.
okay, I just don't see where you're putting the tables because there's bushes and landscaping where I think you're proposing to put the tables.
Well, it's not the best drawing in the world. I'm sorry. It's we don't show the landscaping we're showing the measurement from the landscape. The tables are in front of the landscaping. So that it's a small hedgerow that's in front of PNC. If you can see that. And then those tables are, they're up against the hedgerow of the PNC space. And then on the opposite side, one planter has been removed. So their one table is up against that where the vacated planter has been. And then there's the expanse in between the 3, which would be on the west side. But that's all been was the intention of the drawing, was to show the tables on the correct side of the hedgerow, not from the actual building itself.
So I think, same as previous, this would be subject to city inspection for 6-foot social distance and 6-foot pedestrian path.
Yeah, and we did have a gentleman from the city come out. He was just doing some random inspections, and so he kind of gave us a little bit of insight as well. So we would appreciate that. Whenever anybody wants to come out, they certainly are welcome.
And then, did you measure to make sure that that one table on the edge is 6 feet from found at least?
Yeah, it's more than 6 feet from found. That's correct.
Okay. Great.
I'll do a motion.
Other questions?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Gary.
I was going to do a motion to approve subject to city inspection.
Great. Sounds like a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Mike, call the roll, please.
Knighton,
Aye.
Mangum,
Aye.
Curtis,
Aye.
Tristan,
Aye.
Cueva.
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Sterling,
Aye.
Stoneback.
Aye.
All right, that completes our agenda items. We will, somebody would like to move to adjourn. We do have items for next week, more sidewalk cafes, and a ZBA item. We will be meeting. Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We don't have to do a roll call on that. I learned that on Monday night. So, okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.